Call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Mom, please.
Yes, our roll call. Debbie?
Here.
Dave?
Here.
Carolyn?
Here.
Gary? Here. Joe?
He has been excused.
Okay.
Okay, I'd like to have a motion to move on the agenda. Under unfinished business, we had review of the CSMs with Tim Breland and the Plan Commission. Let's put that up under visitors.
Under visitors or no?
Well, visitors is the next thing on the agenda, so let's do it now, because we have quite a pile here
Oh, for the
yes.
CSMs. I'll make a
Does that
motion
meet with
to
your
read.
approval?
Absolutely.
Yes, I thought so.
Track will go over.
Okay,
We
all
need a
right.
motion for that, or we?
Yeah, you may need a motion, please.
I'll make the motion to move the review of the CSMs to now.
Okay,
I'll allow that.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to
Who's second?
move the
Okay.
review of the CSMs with Tim Breland and Plan Commission. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, all right, yes, sir. Yes, as you see, I have a pile here of
Yes,
things that you gave me last time.
yes, I believe we have 4 certified survey maps in, and we were waiting for some clarifications on a
Yes.
couple of things.
Yes, yes.
okay. First on the agenda is the Jeff Nicolai Live Division. That parcel is now reviewed and accepted, and the Plan Commission recommendation is that you sign the CSM, that's in the criteria area. It has met everything we need.
Perfect.
Okay,
So you want to act on all of these or one at a time?
one at a time, please, okay?
And who is that for?
This one is the one for Jeff Nicolai.
I'll make a motion to approve the Jeff Nicolai CSM.
Second that.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the Jeff Nicolai CSM. Is there any discussion? Okay, we'll vote.
Roll call. Debbie?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Carolyn?
Aye.
Gary? Aye. All ayes.
I will give you this, but I want to keep the rest of this. I think, isn't this all that I'm to give you back?
Anything you have to sign?
Perfect.
Okay. Okay, the next one? Jeffrey Rudetsky.
The second one is Rob and Marcy Altman, Jeff Rudetsky Construction. We recommend, the Plan Commission recommends approval with a warning to the purchasers, which are Rob and Marcy, that there are significant wetlands that they're purchasing. And with the combination of both lots, that they may not be able to cross the wetlands based on the approvals or the review of the Corps of Engineers, that there's a multiple wetland program, and they may not be able to get to a building site that they prefer. The only thing that we can see that's buildable is the front end of that lot. So what we're recommending is approval of the CSM, there's no problem, but with a note warning them that there may be some significant problems crossing wetlands.
Yep, that's fine.
I'll move that we approve the Robin Macy Altman, Jeff Rudetsky Construction, CSM, with the codifier that it may have some wetlands on that parcel.
I'll second.
Okay, the motion has been made and seconded to approve the Robin and Macy Altman, Jeffrey Radetsky, CSM with the codification that beware of all the wetlands. Is there any discussion on this?
Are the purchasers gonna get a copy of this?
Yes.
For us to make sure
Yep.
that they are.
This is just a exchange between neighbors. They just adjusted the property line.
Right.
Yep, so they're both aware and they're both getting copies, so.
Okay,
What we said is that we just want to make both purchasers
Yes.
aware, the seller and purchaser aware, that there's significant wetlands problems.
Okay.
okay, motion.
Voting, Debbie,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Carolyn,
Aye.
Gary,
Aye.
all ayes.
Mhm. The next is the approval of Dean Anderson CSM for additional lot purchase. We did approve that, did we not?
That's,
Last-
we just reviewed your approval and just,
Okay,
sort of, we just agreed with your assessment for us accepting the CSM for Anderson's Dave's additional lot purchase.
We
You really don't
take
have to.
any action on that.
we don't,
We already approved it as per.
we did, and it's signed here.
Oh, okay.
And here this was. Okay, the next one is the Burke Highlands CSM.
The Plat Commission had originally requested a denial because it would create two substandard, or a substandard parcel. Erroneously, the county gave us misinformation that one lot was 2.32 acres and the other lot was 2 acres, which is not the case. Actually, both lots were pre-existing and they were not 2 acres apiece. So the transfer of a small parcel of land from one to the other really is insignificant. So with that information, which we really got today, we would recommend that you approve the Collin separation, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And I talked to Tim, and Tim is well aware of the 2 acre minimum requirement for McMillan. And I want to state to everybody, including the audience, that each parcel, each new parcel that's created must be 2 acres or larger. It cannot be less than 2. But in this case, both of them were less than 2 to start with.
Correct. Now we're making one 2 acres, another one will just be.
Remaining
Yes.
substandard.
Right.
Well, it's not substandard,
It's
it's pre-existing.
pre-existing.
It's smaller than
Yeah.
it was.
Right.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the certified survey map of Kathleen Ulrich and Jason and Faith Burkheim?
Also move.
I'll second.
The motion's been made and seconded to approve the CSM Kathleen Ulrich and Jason and Faith Burkheim. Is there any discussion? If not, we'll vote.
Debbie,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Carolyn,
Aye.
Gary, all ayes.
I'll get less.
There we go.
All right.
I did request of you, Tim,
Yes.
did you make the changes on the map for the Cindy Pryor?
I have. So just digging in there to grab it right now. Yeah, the shed was moved
There, so it's now where it belongs.
where it belongs, correct.
Okay, very good. Okay, so we had approved
You had
this
approved it.
contingent on the new map.
Yep.
Thank you. There you go.
All right, thank you.
Mhm.
2 items that I have from the Plan Commission. First of all, We are working on the comprehensive plan, the 10-year program, which by state statute, we have to present to you within 10-year statutory program. So we will be presenting it to you. We've had our first workshop, we'll have another workshop, and then we'll have the draft for you. Most of that information, which will be contained in the 2015 new comprehensive plan, is gleaned from the 2010 census. What I can tell you is, as we looked at the 1995 and the 2000 comprehensive programs, which were the 10-year program from 95 to 05 and 05 to 15, we are right on line with population growth, extension of subdivisions, the progression of land in a particular described area like the Long County Sea. So we don't see that really changing at all, right? The second thing we will be giving you, we hope we will have it done after the first of the year, is a subdivision checklist, which will mean that any subdivider that wishes to do so in the town of Milton will go through this checklist and they'll be required to meet these standards. The other thing I want you to be aware of is that we will be asking for some fees that will be charged for not only building permits, but will be charged for like engineering fees and so on, which the subdivider will have to pay for. He or she can move that on in their lot costs, but it's important to do that because we've also done some research that this constituency, we the taxpayers have been picking up the tab for a lot of this, and frankly, that's got to stop. So be aware that we're going to present it to you. Whether you approve it or not, it's up to you. But we will be presenting it directly to the board. All right. Any questions?
Is that going to be when, roughly?
We hope that we can get it done by after the first of the year.
So it'd be considered for the 2016 budget?
Yeah.
And you don't have any idea what the cost
Well, I
is
don't
at
know.
this
It'll
time?
be printing costs mostly. Okay.
Mhm.
You might want to look at that. Put that in what the printing costs are going to be. I'm not really sure. Right now, we're on to 30 pages. We hope to get it down to about 6, because we're going to do what they call Wisconsinize it, get it down to our level rather than some New York standard or something like that. But that's what we hope to do. But we also want to make sure that the costs are passed on to the developer who can actually recover those rather than the taxpayer has to pay it out of their tax dollars. Okay.
So all the individual taxpayers or those parcel numbers will be notified?
Oh, yeah,
For
this is
the
it.
public hearing?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean,
And that's-
this is gonna really be a checklist for new subdivisions, David, or, I mean, we abolished the park fees. Right. That's something that probably was unfair. But when you have major development subdivisions, and then, you look back and the taxpayer has to pick up some of that responsibility, engineering-wise and so on, that's not fair to the taxpayer. It has to come from the developer. Anybody else?
No.
Are you done with me, Madam Chair?
Well, I'm wondering, I got one question, sorry. This resolution on the zoning ordinance amendment, since we have approved the CSM, do we need to do anything more other than fill this out and sign it and send it back?
No, as long as it conforms to our plan, which it does.
But don't we need the board approval for, here, it's on this resolution?
For,
On behalf of Kathleen Ulrich, to amend the zoning ordinance to rezone lands from general ag to A11, from A12 to A11.
that's got to come before the commission. We haven't got any information to that effect at all. That she wanted to rezone. She positioned that rezone in the county.
Okay,
How
so
much time is that?
this is what they sent to us and you didn't get it?
No.
Okay.
We can't act on something we don't have.
Okay,
I'm-
just
I'm
wanted
not-
to make sure here before we move
We've
forward.
got the
on it.
plan commission into a mind reading course right now, but they're not doing very well.
Okay, very good. Okay, all right,
Okay?
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next thing, we have comments from the audience. I believe, Mr. Arneson, you had some comments you wanted to make.
Yes, I do. May I take the podium? First of all, I want to thank you for at least recognizing me tonight. I'd like to know why we're not officially on the agenda for tonight's meeting.
Because remember our conversation, I asked you what this was about,
Yes,
and you said, I prefer not to talk about it, I want to do it in front of the whole board.
I preferred not to talk about it at that time, but I think I did mention that. But what did you say after that?
I said that
You said.
you could speak.
Yes.
You could speak, that I would give you that permission,
No,
but
I asked to be on the agenda, Mr. Chairman, or Ms. Chairman, or should I call it chairperson? But I
know.
asked, I remember that conversation, and I have a witness to that conversation. I asked to be on. I think we're getting stonewalled. I asked to be on this agenda tonight. And I'm not on, I should say we, are not on the agenda tonight.
Because I asked you specifically, because when we make up agendas, it's supposed to be specific as to what the conversation is going to be.
And the
And
conversation
you
was.
refused to tell me.
I said the conversation was we had additional info we wanted to address.
Mhm.
Did I not?
For the road. I assumed, you didn't say it was, I have additional,
Whoa.
anyway.
All right, we're getting a little bit nitpicky here.
Okay, let's
Let's-
move
let's-
on.
let's
What are
cool
your
down.
comments?
What are my comments?
What are your comments right now?
First of all, I am not happy with the way this has come down. But first, I want to say, we came here originally not to agitate, not to be, get into a dogfight or anything else. We came here, we thought, with a legitimate and reasonable request for a road pavement. And now all of a sudden, we're getting into a big debate about this.
What are we debating?
We're,
We told you at the meeting, you presented it,
yeah,
we told you that we would have to investigate and follow up on it and make our inquiries, which we have done.
that's the next question. What has action or anything been done since our last board meeting in October?
There's been a lot done.
I know that there was a traffic count.
There was
That's
a
all.
traffic count, we've been out and measured the roads,
Okay,
we have gotten estimates,
okay,
and we have applied for a grant. Now, whether we get it or not, we have no idea.
okay. No.
So I think that's pretty much a full schedule. So please do not say that we're not moving on this, because we have done all that we can do at this point.
I appreciate that. You also mentioned at the last meeting that the study would be done before the budget meeting. Is that study all been done?
Study for what?
The study on the road count, the cost of this, or what the engineering requirements and whatever. Has this all been done before the budget meeting and November 19th?
I don't think it's possible to get that done before the 19th of November,
Well,
to find out engineering costs and everything else.
the chairman said that they couldn't do the study before the budget meeting would happen.
I said that we would try to get all this so that we have the information and make a decision. We haven't even made a decision as to what we're gonna move
Well, I
on.
think that's
So
our
it's
con-
not gonna be on the budget.
I guess that's our concern is, and if I may, I know you told me to make it short, I'm gonna try and make it short,
Yes.
okay? I have some questions for probably Dave. When was the ordinance put into adoption for the width of roads before they could be paved?
That was probably done after, probably before I was on this road person.
And so when was that?
John, do you recall?
The 66-foot Fort Rod Road was put in effect actually in 1987 by the state, by DOT.
1987.
87, that's the criteria that you require for a town road.
How many roads have been paved in the town of McMillan that do not meet that 66-foot standard?
None,
Are you sure?
yes.
Was the Birch Street from 97 to T considered a 66-foot road?
97 to T, which one? There's an east and west Birch that hit 97.
We're on the east, I'm so that's the west portion. We are on the east from T to D.
Oh, okay, and what is your, okay, your address would be the 500-600 mile series, right?
Excuse me?
500 to 600 mile series.
We are on the 50-foot.
Yeah, right, 500, right?
Okay.
Yeah, okay, or 5 something,
Okay.
M5 or 6, right? Yeah, those were put into effect, actually, there's some criteria, there's some information way back, that the rest of the Fort Rod Road was actually, there was some area dedicated, right away dedicated for 4 rods. The only 3-rod road we had was actually Fox Lane in here, okay? And that was dedicated back in, somewhere around the late 90s to give, to make it a 4-rod. And also, excuse me, so was Lincoln Avenue, right? That was a 2-rod, that was dedicated to make it 4.
Are we considered a 3-rod?
No, 4-rod.
We are considered a 4-rod?
That, you're getting the tax dollar on the 4-rod, gas tax.
And I can't answer.
I know you're,
I think it's,
I know you're, we don't have 3 rods anymore. Right?
He's in 600.
Yeah, we don't have 3 rods. They're all 4-rod roads.
So our road meets the requirement to be paved.
Well, meets the 4-rod requirement, yeah, but not to be paved. It means, it meets the DOT standards for a town road.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you. Then my question is, on a comprehensive study that was done a while back, I think it was done in 2007, that went through the year 2008 through 2012. On there, the road that we are addressing right now was on in 2009, it was going to be graded and upgraded for a cost of $85,000. On 2012, it was on that comprehensive study to be paved, hard surface, I should say, not paved, hard surface, for $105,000. That's a total of $190,000 that was allocated. As far as I know.
it wasn't allocated.
It was on the comprehensive
It was
plan.
estimated. It was an estimated cost for a highway improvement plan. Those were only estimates. We never let bids for any of that. And you
Were
don't know
any
what
of those
Excuse me,
other projects on that comprehensive plan done?
Point of order. I'm trying to answer a question.
Yes.
All right, I, go ahead.
You don't know the final cost of what it's going to cost to change culverts, to tile, to put base course on, to put asphalt until you let it bid.
Right?
We can have all the plans in the world. We got all the plans in the world here, right here in front of us, and it's been revised since this 7-year highway improvement program was put into place. The problem was, the taxpayers in the township ratcheted the mill rate down.
Wait a minute. Go ahead. You still got the floor.
They took $200,000 a year out of the highway improvement program. There's only 2 things, ladies and gentlemen, we can do in this township. Provide public safety, which is fire department, and highways. 2 things. When you don't have the money, and we were told we couldn't borrow it, somebody's got to slide down the scale here. And that's exactly what happened. There's a couple former board members sitting in the room here, and I think they realize that, correct? Mr. Martell?
I'd like to answer that a little bit.
Yes, go ahead.
You say we dropped the mill rate $200,000, and why do we have an excess of money every year after that?
We did not have an excess
Yes,
of
we
money.
did. Then the following year, made a motion to drop it another $50,000.
No, it wasn't 50, it was
30,
35.
30, 40?
And that money had been put into the budget at that time in case we had received a grant. Because we would have had to pay the sales tax or whatever it was, some tax on there.
No, you would have had to pay,
A
if it was a
percentage.
50, if it was a 50-50 grant, you had to come up with the other 50%.
No, that wasn't it. Mm-mm. It was, no, there was something, it was a grant for something, but we had to pay a percentage of whatever, but it came to 35,000.
35,000.
And I had made the motion to, if we did not get that grant, that be taken off of there.
But also, not just that, you know, in 2012, or, I think 2012, if you look at your annual report, we had an excess of money of $340,000 balanced on hand. The following year, 2013, it was $540,000 extra money balanced on hand.
Well, that's not extra money, it's allocated money that we
It's
had.
still balanced on hand, extra money.
That was because of the Stock Road project. We couldn't afford to pay it for the first year that after we received the grant. So
Yeah.
we put it aside.
Yeah,
We
but
intentionally did not spend it, so that we had it so that we could get that road done the following year, which is what we did.
Well, in my opinion, that road was way overspent. You know, I had it all
Well,
set.
I'm sorry, whether that's a
It
moot
was-
point,
it was
it's
half
done and
the
over,
money. It was
it's
all
done
the
and
way
over.
over half the
So,
money
the
you
problem,
spent
okay,
double.
we're gonna move on. Now, right now, we're in 2015. We just now are addressing, I'm fine, I can't find you even on this where I have this. 2011, we were to upgrade Drake, and that's what we are doing, right? That's what we did this year. 2012, we were to hard surface Galvin north of County Trunk C,
Okay,
and that never happened. That never happened. That's over by you, Weinman's, right?
Correct.
Okay. Then, 2013, we were to hard surface Drake, 97 to C. That hasn't occurred yet. We don't have the money for that. We just paid the bill, or in the process of okaying the bill, for the prep for Drake, which was to have been done in 2011. So we address these things as we can and when we have the money to do it. And which one has the highest priority? Now,
why was Drake moved ahead of Birch Street then?
I don't have Birch Street on this 7-year
No, that's
highway
good.
improvement plan, which was drawn, I have the date of 10/28/2011. There is not, it isn't even on here.
That's right, we dropped off completely. From the
I
one
don't
that-
know, I
from the
don't
one that
know.
was- From the one that was rough drafted in 10/24/07 for the years 2008 through 2012.
Well, these change, they
I
change.
understand that.
So you go with what is the biggest need and what you can afford to do.
So what do we have to do to get our road paved?
I'm telling you, sir, what we have done.
I-
We
I-
have done all the work we can do. We don't know if we're going to get the grant or not. And that's gonna make a big difference in whether we are able to
Even start.
Does everything?
even start it next year.
Does everything revolve around the grant in this township?
For this, it's going to, because it's not a priority at this time.
Right.
What is the priorities?
Getting done what we need to get done, we're gonna have bridge to address here pretty quick. We are also gonna have Man Road to address, that's gonna be a huge project. So those are a couple of
And
things
those
that
are moving
are,
ahead of some of our requests.
most definitely. They
Well,
have to.
There's justification.
Anybody in the audience want to comment from our street?
Okay, no, we're not going there. Okay, listen, we're doing what we can do to get this done. And we're trying to get it done. We're trying to get what we can get done. But it's not something that we can just jump into just because, I understand that you have been on the improvement plan.
Yes.
We take this as is needed, what the roads that are needed. Galvin now is an absolute disaster because of all of the traffic, because of redoing E. Now, if you count, your highway count is about 90 per day. You know what the count is on E?
No, I don't.
6,000, up to 6,000, part of the time that goes then on man. Those are the figures the county gave us. They did all that before they did E. I mean, I'm sorry, but, you know, whatever is the biggest need is the one we have to try and
What
address.
is gonna be done right now with the material on that road?
You graded that, didn't you? You graded.
You grade it, it pushes it into the middle, you run over it for 2 days, it's on the side.
Yeah,
Was this approved by the state for the aggregate that was put on that road?
It's state gradation 2, base course, and that's exactly what goes on every blacktop road.
What is the diameter of the stones that are?
okay, County Trunk E had this same thing all summer. All summer they had this, exactly what you're talking about. So therefore,
I mean, it could go back to rotten granite, and it'll be
I'll
smooth.
tell you what, the rotten granite was better and better safety than what we've got on there now.
It does not make a base for a good road if and when it is blacktop.
That could be 10, 12 years, we've been hearing this for years.
Okay?
yeah.
Anybody else want any comments?
I just would ask, and I'm asking this with all humility, that we be updated as to what the progress is for our road and not be kept in the dark. And second of all, why, with a road of our density, is it straight being considered for pavement with much less dense population? And just, I would ask that you keep us informed on the progress of our street, please.
Madam Chairman, can I address one thing?
Yeah.
Originally, when the paving program started in the township, we wanted all the north-south roads. Look at the map, all the north-south roads. If we could get those blacktopped or hard surfaced or prepped for hard surface, no one would have more than a half a mile to go either way to get to a hard surface road. That's in conjunction with the County Trunk E, County Trunk T, and County Trunk C. We all pay taxes to the county. Some of us get benefit of that, some of us don't. Some of us live on county trunk roads, some of us don't. Some of us live on gravel roads, some of us don't. Some of us live in chip seal roads, some of us don't. The reason we wanted to try to get a hard surface program started is because you as a constituent wanted us to do it. We had a road committee, my dad was on it years ago. And for whatever reason, they decided that, and I wasn't part of the road committee, I was on the sideboard, I was on garbage and recycling, I didn't have anything to do with it other than the expenditure of the money when it came up as a board. The overture at that point in time was, like I said, to get all the north-south roads done, so nobody would have more than a half mile to go either way to get to a blacktop hard surface road. In the meantime, the city of Marshfield has gradually come this way. Individuals petition for annexation of the city. Those tax dollars go that way. Once they annex their property out of the township, the town doesn't have a thing to say about it. The city doesn't have a thing to say about it. It has to be the property owner that petitions for annexation to the city of Marshfield. We had development on the north side of Marshfield, Walmart, Menards, and all the infrastructure there, St. Joe's. That was one of the first, I believe the first blacktop was St. Joseph's, north of McMillan. With the advent of the development on the north side, Walmart Menards, Man Road became a shortcut off of Highway 13 for everybody. We addressed it several times. We've improved it several times. We've repaired it several times, and it needs repair again. It's a factor of how hard things are used and how many dollars we have to spread over the period of time we have. And unfortunately, like I said, there's $200,000 taken out of the budget.
Per year.
Originally, correct. Originally, we prepped a mile for blacktop, drove on it through the freeze-thaw cycle of 1 year, blacktopped it the next. Unfortunately, we can't do that. And here's where the quandary is. I'd like everybody to have blacktop roads.
So would we. We
Are
don't
we
begrudge
all
anybody
ready to
getting
pay for it? Are we all ready to pay for it? That's the question.
I have one other question, Dave, if you would. What is the total length of Drake Street that's going to be paved in 2016?
Depends on how much money is in the budget, quite frankly.
Okay,
I don't think it's gonna get to 2 miles.
2 miles?
I don't think it's gonna get to 2 miles. It's gonna be lucky if we get 1 mile done.
Okay. And at the last meeting, it was stated that each mile of blacktop alone is $220,000 without any prep.
Well, that was two years ago.
Oh,
The
okay.
gas prices have come down, so it's not quite as much.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
Great. And we all
Yes,
know.
exactly, great.
We all know that both chip and seal and blacktop or asphalt is petroleum-based. Oil's now in the mid-40 range, where before it was up in the 90s to $100 range. Its material cost has got to be coming down.
There it is. That's what we estimated. Unfortunately, and like I said before, American Asphalt is the only game in town.
May I ask what the bid was for?
We did
We don't
not
have a
do
bid.
any bid. We did an estimate.
So you haven't received the bid yet?
We haven't put it out for bids because we
But it's going to
don't,
be paved in 2016, a portion of it at least?
for what, Drake?
Yeah.
No, we haven't, no,
No.
no, we haven't,
Bids don't
no.
go out till spring
Okay.
for the construction season.
So I know that because of us not being on the official agenda tonight, that no action from the board can be taken.
Even if you had been, excuse me, I interrupted, but even if you had been on the agenda, there won't be any action taken until we get more answers to this.
Can you give us a rough guideline on when we can expect some kind of answer?
Well,
We can't, we really can't, because we don't know what it's gonna be for money down the road.
we have to see what we even have for next year. And we won't know that until the very end of the year, how much, because whatever we have left over
Goes into the road?
goes into the roads.
Okay,
And because, you know,
because we haven't swapped enough
no,
or made a big enough fuss over the last few years.
That isn't
We've
gonna-
been out,
That isn't gonna prioritize you. It really isn't. Because what we have to look at is, like I said before, we have a bridge coming that doesn't pass inspection. We have Man Road, the traffic on that is tremendous. We have Galvin that got beat up. So we do have to prioritize in order to keep everything safe.
I understand.
So
Allison, we're
can
not
you give an
trying-
answer on when you're going to
Well,
get
no, it's
blacktop?
just that you said last meeting that, well, we hadn't heard from you before, and now you're saying that because you squawk, we're not necessarily gonna listen to you. And the other
no, that isn't
No,
so.
that's not.
That
The other
isn't
comment that I have is that, Mr. Swenson has told us that this rock that's down on it is a prep grade for blacktop. Well, if we're not planning on blacktopping, why did it get dumped there? I've said enough.
And I'll talk to you, I'll come over and talk to you, Ellen.
Well, why wasn't?
Don't ride your bike.
Well, I don't know. Pat, I asked Pat, I
Okay.
said, why is there such nasty stuff on that
I
road?
appreciate that.
And he
That's
said
the first
that it
positive
was
thing I
done the same day that it was done on the other end of Galvin. And,
North of Sea.
and for some reason, yours was not as bad as this stuff. And we have no control over that. That's what was delivered, and we have, and who knows?
Well, maybe
If it was supposed to be the same,
If it was
and yours
supposed to,
wasn't.
if it was supposed to
Pretty
be,
bad.
It was to begin, but you see, the more you drive on it, the more it packs it down. Supposedly. Yeah, well, it did. I don't know, we hadn't looked at it, actually. We went to Galvin that way, and we went to yours.
I think when they put both of those on, they watered it, because watering tends to pack it down. We had a lot of rain in June, and the rest of the summer we didn't have rain. That's no excuse, but that's just the way it works. We don't grade unless we're going to have rain or just after rain, because it packs down and it brings the fines up, and the fines go between the large aggregate, and then it packs down.
okay.
The other thing that would help it would be calcium chloride.
Can we do that?
Calcium chloride, no, makes it, when it does rain, then it's slick. And it's icy in the winter. And so you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't.
So we really should.
Well, no, we're trying to figure out how we can work this out.
Okay, we appreciate at least that.
We have done a lot of research already. We have. So it's not like we're ignoring you. It's not like we're trying to hide something from you. We just have got to do what we can do with the money we have. Yes, Butch?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, maybe a suggestion, you can look at the seed analysis. All that material has to be state inspected and.
Yeah, well, we
look at
did
the
that.
seed
We went
analysis.
back and looked at that, and
And look at the
supposedly it was the
inspector
same
sign.
on Galvin as theirs, but it's not what came through.
If it's not the correct material that's supposed to be state inspected, maybe it's their fault that they put it down. They have to get rid of it then.
Well, we can ask. We can ask, sir.
Oh,
Just a
appreciate that.
suggestion, look at the SID analysis.
If we have to go through the winter with the plowing and everything, it's gonna be a disaster out there.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
I got a comment on it. I did walk that road the other day, and I don't understand why in some places it's got just a heck of a crown in the road, and other places it's almost flat.
Yes.
It's the way people drive on it. That was,
I don't think you can get rid of the crown that way. I don't know if it's the way it was put down or what.
I'll tell you, the other day, excuse me again, but the other day, a FedEx truck came down that road, and I was going out, and I had to move over, and it was into the right shoulder. I was almost pulled into the ditch, and that is no luck.
yeah. We took pictures.
Okay,
Maybe a temporary fix would be to dump rotten granite on the top. Would that help?
Might be.
Or would that not work? I don't know.
I don't know, we can.
Might not have a
we can-
choice, might have to do something on that order.
We can ask. Okay,
Thank you.
let's go on from, any other comments?
thank you.
Okay, let's go on to approval of minutes. Do we have a motion to approve? We have actually two sets of minutes. October 12th and October 28th.
I'll make a motion to approve the October 12th minutes as presented.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the October 12 minutes. Any discussion?
Yeah, they made the motion. I
Okay.
seconded.
Any discussion? No, let's vote.
Voting, Vicky,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Carolyn,
Aye.
Gary,
Aye.
all ayes.
Okay, then we move to October 28th. That was our special meeting. Is there a motion?
I'll move to approve minutes of the October 28th meeting as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve the October 28th special town board meeting minutes. Any discussion? Okay, vote.
Voting, Vicky,
Abstain.
Dave, Dave,
Aye.
Carolyn,
Aye.
Gary,
Aye.
Okay.
no abstain, 3 votes.
Okay, well, John pretty much took care of his plan commission, fire department, Rodney.
I'll try to keep it brief.
Thank you.
Basically, I went to, a week and a half ago, I went to the Dells. They hold a state conference there for fire inspection and prevention. I've kind of caught a little bit with the town there on a few things I learned on the fire prevention stuff. One of the key things that came out was basically that 87% of our houses across the nation have smoke detectors. The bad thing is that they figure that half of them do not work. So that gets us down in the high 30s, low 40s% that don't work. So that basically drops us back. I believe they said back in like the 70s with smoke detectors and stuff. So as a fire department, we're going to try and figure out this next year how to, first off, maybe canvass the township a little bit, people that'll be honest with us, do years work and stuff like that, and then maybe try to get a grant or do something through the fire department to promote smoke detectors and that type of stuff. So,
Mine work.
but
Mine work.
have you checked it?
Mine's hooked up electrically and it's got a backup battery, so yes, I know
Okay.
it works. And every Thanksgiving, when everything overflows in my oven, they work.
Good deal.
Something's ready on this one.
The reason that I do bring that up is I was fortunate enough to be on shift today in the city when the Red Cross came through and they had their smoke detector giveaway. They had canvassed some areas and beforehand, so we knew that we had some residents that they were going to let us in and check their detectors and stuff like that. And I believe we found 3 of the residents that had working detectors that were all properly working. They were not out of date. Some units were out of date. Some of them didn't have batteries. Some were unplugged. Some of them, when you pushed them, just had a real little screech. So we need to try to make sure that everybody's in our township works.
What's out of date?
Basically, every 10 years, your smoke detector and carbon monoxide detector is supposed to be replaced.
Okay. What about if it's hooked up electrically, like mine is?
They still have a 10-year lifespan. They still like to see at the end of 10 years.
You're supposed to put a new one in, rewire it?
No, a lot of times if you
Mine's
stay with the same
wired.
brand,
Mhm.
they're just a quarter turn off. They'll come down, they'll unplug. You plug the new one in and then put it back.
You have to stop over and look at mine. I don't think mine is that way.
Okay.
I really don't. I don't think we.
All of them I've ever run into are that way, but maybe yours are a little bit older and they're the other style. They're what?
18 years old. That's how we buy them.
They might be the direct wires.
I
You might
believe
need to
they're
convert
direct
them
wire.
over. But all the new ones are, probably 10 years or better.
Mhm.
We're all plug-ins
Mhm.
that way, so. And that's why we want to try to educate people on that, so.
Well, I'm just curious, when you said they have kind of an expiration date, I thought, well, mine are really expired then.
Yeah.
But they still work.
Mine are expired wars.
We can help you out with that. And that'll be to anybody else that's in the township too. Anybody that needs help or whatever, we'll try to figure something out so we
Mhm.
know where everybody's at, so. Last month, as I say, we did our driver's training. So you've probably seen some more of the rigs around. And then if you were around that, about 2 days, we did our cone setup in the parking lot out here and had some paint out in the gravel and stuff like that. Basically the state, or not the state, the NFPA standards and stuff, basically have like a course that you set up. We do a serpentine and stuff like that, basically allows the firefighters to run the rigs through in a short amount of time, in a short distance and stuff like that. Everything that they'd encounter out on the road, so. it really helps speed things up. And then as an evaluator, I can watch 3 or 4 people run things through the cones and stuff like that. So, and I believe everybody except for 2, and they're both working on getting with me to get their stuff completed also. This last Saturday here, it was supposed to be the Saturday before, we had a house burn with Stratford. Unfortunately, because of the fact that it was rained out the first time around, the second time we only had 1 individual go up, but Stratford kind of was open arms to her and showed her a lot of new stuff that she didn't realize before, so that was taken care of. Also with the group that we're working, just so that the board is aware of it, we're working on changing our SOG for our driving. We're not going to diminish any of the training that the individuals need. We were just re-looking at the age. For when they originally drafted, they drafted at 20. We're not really sure why they picked 20 as the age, because as far as everything that I've been told by the DOT, you can get a commercial driver's license at 18. I don't believe you can do interstate travel, but you can travel within the state. At 18, you can get that license. So we're looking at probably moving our age to 18. We have to vote on that over there yet. We've read at the first reading of it, but I just wanted the board aware of that. Our insurance company, we checked, and they would insure us at 18.
Is there gonna be any change in premium?
Nothing.
Nothing, it's
Okay.
just, no, we just changed,
We don't wanna have an incident like most of we had.
no.
And that's why we're not changing our training. And definitely when we lower it down at any time, and I get new people in that have no experience driving bigger vehicles, they go through the course that we set up out here, and then we also take them through basically the NFPA standard test, where they have to do so many right-hand turns, so many left-hand turns, they have to merge, go across the railroad tracks, they have to do all this proficiently. If not, I don't sign them off. And I have to sign them off before they go through, so I'm allowed to operate emergently. So, and we're not getting rid of any of that. The tablet that hard surface, the Surface that we purchased for Image Trend, we now have our protective case for it, and I have taken it out and done 4 inspections. It's working fine. Due to the inspection class and stuff that we've previously, I didn't get any more done, but I did get 4 of them done, so that's working fine. As you kind of seen and over there in the parking lot, we do have 3 junk cars over there. Within the next week, they should be gone. Tomorrow night, we're going to be basically cutting those apart, and with our jaws or our cutters and spreaders, our hydraulic spreaders and stuff, so that everybody is up on that. Normally, we only cut about 2 or 3 cars apart, our open doors and stuff. So once a year, we like to bring everybody in and train everybody on that.
And they all go back.
Yes, and they go back. And they're from Shaw's. She donates the cars for us. I haul them back and forth, and she donates the cars. So if you see her, you take some cans and thank her for that. As far as the EMS goes, Lori's still gathering information on the feasibility study for the upgrade. The November training for the group will be on Narcan. After the training is done, she will be submitting the paperwork for that. She already has approval from Steve. She just needs to get everybody trained, and then with everybody's training, then that all gets sent in with the training and everything into the state to get approval. And then in January, we will be starting a EMT, EMR refresher at the station, and that will be outside departments also. Anything else?
No? Good, thank you. Library group.
Just a couple of activities that are happening at the library. Great things are happening on November 14th. There are 14 or 16 different organizations that are involved. And there will be entertainment, fine food, various activities. And unfortunately, it's the same day as Chamber Chorale.
Oh.
So that's going to make it difficult. And Friends of the Public Library at Fompel are again doing their kids, Give a Kid a Book program, which they started a couple of years ago. They collect primarily younger aged, for younger ages, the books, and they are divided up through social services for children that need them. Last year they distributed 1,800 books. So that'll be going on until I think about the first of the year, and you can donate books or you can donate money.
They had a lot going on.
Yeah, that was too.
Thank you. Okay, a couple of things here. I spoke to Jim Griesbach today, and with our implements of husbandry, if we remain in E, we have to do another ordinance to go on for another year. But I called Jim Griesbach, and he said the county has gone to the letter F, which is we just abide by Act 377. This option simply implements the 23,000 axle and the measurements, and you don't have to do anything. And he said, I would suggest that you think about that. Like, we had followed them on the letter E, and he said, so.
And we can put that on the agenda for next month? Is that how we're gonna have to do it?
Yes,
To
yes.
approve that?
Yeah, yes. Just to approve that we go with E, F. I think that's it. Dave?
Yeah, the Galvin Avenue Bridge railing was replaced by the county. We are not going to be billed for that. Whenever the county fixes it, the bill goes to the person that had the accident there. And that bridge had a tag on it. The officer that night put a tag on there. So we followed that back and had the county do it. County does it, they bill back to the person that did the damage. So that should not be an encumbrance for us. We did fix the approach to each side of the bridge. American Asphalt came in and did that. I think they did that last Friday. That was why we had Galvin closed. Drake Avenue, we replaced 7 culverts. There's a couple that were 60-inch culverts, a couple that were 48, one that was 30 and one that was 24. We put in the drain tile and put the base course on it, on the Drake Avenue, from 97 to County Trunk C. Snow fence posts were put in, Pat's got those in, and the snow fence is out where he thinks it's needed. Brush was cut on the back banks of St. Joseph's and Mann, and there probably was a couple more that I missed, that I didn't see. Other than that, we went to the Towns Association meeting the other night up at Country Air, and I wish the people had stayed here, because I would have liked to heard the input from them. They want to. There's 2 computer systems that are going to be replaced. One is going to be for land description. It's going to be $1 million to cover the county. The second one is going to be in the dispatch area. That's $1.5 million. So there's $2.5 million going to be spent on a computer upgrade. And once they get the computer upgrade in, they want to change the address system in the county. There's only 3 counties in the state of Wisconsin that don't have a gradation from the southwest corner where the numbers are low and go to the higher as you go north, or from the west side of the township and go east, or the county and go east and get higher. I believe there were Marathon, Portage, and Ozaki, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
those 3. We have a 3-digit number. We're running out of numbers. We have repetitive numbers. We have repetitive numbers and names combinations. So in case of emergency, when the 911 call comes in, it used to be landlines. You could give a location. Now everybody's got cell phones. So calls in the example that the assistant administrator gave was, she still had her cell phone, somebody still had their cell phone from a different area code. It wasn't even a 920 or a 608 or a 715. Where does it come, how did the dispatcher get the right piece of equipment, what it's needed for fire or emergency, to the right place, if there's duplicate numbers? The way it comes down is there's a bar that drops down, and she can pick, and she or he is educated enough or has enough experience, they'll pick one, and hopefully that's the right one. So, what's it gonna cost and who's gonna pay for it? Here's another one. Nobody knows the cost, we just went through the cost locally, we just got all the fire numbers, right? They're all gonna have to be changed if in fact the committee that's studying this recommends it to the county board and they pass it. So.
What did it cost us last night for all the fire numbers? Wasn't that around 10,000?
Right.
Somewhere in there?
Probably, yeah.
So then we get to do it again?
Yeah, and if we don't go along and change the address, and it's, correct me if I'm wrong, because you were there, it would cost us more to do it, to upgrade that computer system that they're talking about replacing if we do it later than sooner.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna tag us if we don't go with them.
So what are you gonna do? I don't know.
The sad thing was, though, that the townships, the villages and them, the villages can opt out, but the townships can't.
Yes.
Oh.
And you notice how many representation, how much representation there was for the villages?
From the villages, yeah, there was none.
None there.
How many, Gary, how many different fire departments? 18 EMS and fire departments in the county, and or different zones, right? Wasn't there?
Yeah,
I wrote it down.
something like that.
There's 18 different things just in Marion County. I mean, it's all screwed up. Everybody had to have their own little piece, you know, keep their thing. So anyway, that's enough. Unless anybody has any questions.
Well, one thing I guess I was gonna say on that is, because we are running with the M number, with our item responding, there's a mapping portion of that that doesn't work for us. I mean, that's just, so I think that unfortunately, I know it's come up again, and I know it's gonna be money, but it's another thing that we need to look at, wisely, of how long are we going to stay. I like the M number, because if there's no M number, or it's a 3-digit number, you get automatically, even if I'm in the city, is there an M number with that? As soon as they say, oh yes, there is, there's an M number with that, when we know we're coming to mail it. And I know that's why we stuck with it, but I don't know if that's true anymore. It may be getting more cumbersome than when the digital stuff doesn't work anymore.
Technology is great, isn't it?
When it works.
When it works, yes. Okay, Jeff?
Nothing new.
Okay, Joe is recovering from his knee replacement. Gary, you have anything?
Well, other than I tried to call Meyer again and left a message and then get to, I don't know if his answering machine doesn't work, on the holding tanks. And I saw Denny Radetsky today, and he said he never got up here
He didn't get up
to
there.
look at it and try and give us what it might cost if he did the tiling. I flagged him down. He was working in the back, and I saw him coming up with the truck. No, I just haven't had time.
Be spring now.
Well, and yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
said.
yeah.
I'm sure it'll be spring.
Yeah. Okay.
If you're leaving that bad, you should get it fixed.
Yes.
I think you checked on that a few years ago, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, we just had it.
And it's
checked on.
pretty expensive.
I can't remember what it was.
Well,
Yeah,
like I said,
it's
he'd done my neighbors, and he figured it was gonna be around $1,000 for his 2 tanks, and he's got 2 collars deep there.
I know, we had looked into that one that long ago, and it was pretty expensive.
Yeah, but if it costs you $1,000 and you can save pumping 2 or 3 times a year at $170 a pump, doesn't take long to pay that back.
Okay, let's go to the clerk.
Clerk's report, beginning balance, October 1 was $536,370.73. Receipts for the month of October were $28,752.37. We had payroll liabilities from the previous month, $1,803.39. Of course, that's a deficit. The unpaid liabilities from this present month, $3,453.16, and other disbursements, $49,086.64. Total disbursements and $47,436.87. Our ending balance, this would be October 31, 2015, $517,686.23. And then the balance of my report are the checks written. You should have a page and a half of those from October 12th through November 9th, today's date. And on the second page, I recap total checks written of $245,102.43. These include checks numbered 13775 through 13817, and also checks 68 through 72.
I make a motion to approve the financial clerk's financial report and the checks, which are 13775 through 13817, including checks 68 through 72.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Motion has been made and seconded to approve the clerk's report and checks 13775 through 13817, including checks 68 to 72. Any discussion?
The government contract for $1,000.
That's in regard to the SAMS account, which the fire department has, and we've had that under contract, and that's now up for renewal. And that's where we would get, on a contract basis, grants, monies coming in.
Okay.
This 1,000 would then renew that program, SAMS program, for 2 years.
Okay.
That shut that balance down, didn't it? Wow. Okay. Any further discussion?
Well, City of Marshfield, the second half of the ambulance contract was $21,433, and the library was $19,700.
Yeah.
Also, the transfer then of that 20,000. They wanted that done by check, and they're gonna add it to the present CD.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Good.
Paper trail.
yes, the check will be the paper trail.
Yeah. Okay.
Did we hear any more, just a quick question, any more about insurance? Because that's going to be due at the end of the year?
I've been meeting with Corey, and we'll have his quote. Was there
What
any
about
other?
rural? Are they going to be giving us a
I
price?
don't think so, because they just did it last year. We renewed it last year with rural.
For a year,
Yeah.
but they'd be coming due again at the end of the
Yeah.
year.
I can ask Jennifer.
Give her a call,
I
let her
will.
know.
I will.
I just happened to think of it, so
No, it's okay.
not to get off topic here.
Okay. Now can we vote?
Did they ever get the check for the?
Yeah, as
Oh, you-
I see it's outstanding.
Yeah.
It won't be next month because I sent it to him Thursday. He came out Wednesday night and fixed it. And Ronnie was there and approved it, so I told him I'd mail a check on Thursday. That's done.
right there.
Okay, all right, shall we vote?
Voting, Debbie,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Carolyn,
Aye.
Gary, all ayes.
Okay, treasurer's report, Steve.
Checking account balance at the end of the month was $437,751.13, less the outstanding check of $17,575.23. Leaves a reconciled checking account balance of $420,175.90. The tax savings account had a balance of $29.17, which was basically October's interest, and has subsequently been transferred out during the month of November. The fire department equipment CD is $10,109.67. Public works replacement apparatus CD is $60,212.06. Park fund savings account is $1,998.25. And the volunteer fighters fund savings account is $25,161.18, with an ending balance of $517,868.23 total.
686.
686.
You said 868.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. So maybe we play that.
We got it on video.
We got
Okay.
We
Okay,
just transposed.
okay.
And also we have a list of the uncleared transactions of $70,000.
Hmm.
What do you pay the retaining supply shop
That is for the gazebo.
That's,
for? Okay,
it's
That's
not
just the
for
name
a
of his
town.
company.
Okay.
The name of his company, that's,
I'm just asking.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that was an outstanding check, but that should be going through now for this next month.
Let's hope their cash flow.
Huh?
Let's hope their cash flow. That it wasn't cash.
Okay.
I could have held it as long as he took to finish.
Okay. You want a motion to?
I'll make a motion to approve the financial report for the treasurer.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve the treasurer's financial report. Any discussion? Vote.
Voting, Debbie,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Carolyn,
Aye.
and Gary,
Aye.
all ayes.
Okay, unfinished business, we finished that. The new business, appoint new plan commissioner. I would like to, I thought maybe he was gonna be here, I am appointing, I have accepted Doug Lee's resignation from the plan commission, and the gentleman that Debbie harassed last meeting, did agree to come, to join the plan commission, by John Paappe, P-A-A-P-E. So he will be joining the plan commission.
That was almost comical. That poor guy comes in to complain about his road and I end up recruiting him for the plan commission.
Yeah,
Harassing.
it worked. So, okay, Rodney, we have approved the fire department officers.
Do we need to?
Oh, do you want to vote? Do you want to, it's an appointment.
Okay, then we don't need to.
Appointment.
For our new officers, basically they're gonna be pretty much staying the same. Jason Dahmers is our assistant chief. He was basically reelected for another term. He has, the one class that he does not have is his Fire 2. He has submitted me a letter saying that he has intent to get that completed within the next year, as soon as the class comes available. That one's a little tougher of a class to try to get a hold of, but I believe that within the next year we can get him into that. The other position that we had up was our lieutenant's position was also up, and that will be Pat Weigel. He is missing his 200 and 700 ICS classes. That is an online course. He'll be getting with Lori or myself, and we will be getting that completed. He hopes to have that done before the end of the year. We were hoping to, normally we were allowed to have 3 lieutenants. Amy Seagull, she basically she put in for the position. Basically her primary problem is that we have right now with her, not that there's any problems with her, she's doing everything that we're asking her to do, but there's no way that we can basically turn the clock back and get her on the department 4 years ago. And with conversations with the town chairman and a few other people, we feel that at this time we're going to not give her that position. The group had voted on that. If the board feels differently, but basically what we're going to try to do is she's going to try to get some more experience. She's going to basically all the house burns that she can, and she's going to continue training and getting more classes and stuff. So hopefully maybe next year we can revisit it. The other one is our EMS coordinator, which is Lori Bauer.
Okay, so do we make a motion to be for each one individually? To accept?
I don't think we need to. I think we can make one motion to approve the fire department officers as recommended.
Okay,
And then for their swearing in, for the ones that are new, I plan on that probably your last meeting in December,
okay,
if they're
They
available.
start January
Because they'll
1.
start January 1.
okay, that's good.
If they can't make that, then they'll be the first meeting in January.
Okay. Okay,
So do you want these individually, or you want them all together?
that's fine, what you just said. Is there a second? Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay,
Debbie?
the motion has been made and
Made
seconded
the motion.
And here.
to approve the fire department officers as was presented. Which means Jason for assistant chief, Pat for lieutenant, Amy for EMS.
No. No.
Not yet.
Lori.
Lori.
Lori for EMS.
I
not
said
Amy.
Lori, didn't I?
No, you said Amy.
Oh, I didn't mean to. Lori for EMS. And then Amy's position will be revisited a year from now. Is there any further discussion? Okay, we'll vote.
Okay, voting Debbie.
Aye.
Dave.
Abstain.
Dave, abstaining. Carolyn.
Yeah, aye.
And Gary.
Aye.
Okay. All right, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
I'll second.
The motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
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 Meeting adjourned.
Check thing, we could wait for the next $1,000 he brought up. I just thought, well, I had something lying next to one of them.
Well, it's in the basket
Yeah,
if you
well,
want
that,
to
that's,
get it.
Dave brought it up, after he brought it up, I said, I had a line.
He had a barn
Ask
asset.
that question, huh?
Well, I told him he needed just to keep his updated one, throw the other one away. So I did it for him.
Yeah, you have to throw the old ones away, otherwise it gets confusing.